Hi, my name is Bill, and today I'm going to be showing you how to replace the motor pulley in your dryer. The reason why you would have to do this is because the motor pulley is damaged and it no longer stays on the shaft of the motor. For this repair, we'll be using a Phillips head screwdriver, a 1/4-inch nut driver, a pair of needle nose pliers, a 7/16 wrench, and a pair of channel locks. Warning: before doing any repairs, please disconnect your power source. So this is the dryer we'll be using. It's a Maytag Maxima X. Keep in mind that yours might be a little bit different than what we've got here, but the same technique should still apply. The first thing you want to do is make sure you turn your gas off. So all we have to do now is turn our dryer around. Now we'll be removing the 2 screws here holding our top on. And once you remove those 2 screws, you can pull back on the top panel and then lift up and remove it. So here's our control board. In order to get that out, we need to unplug all these wires. Keep in mind some of these have little tabs that you just have to push in the sides to release them. So now we're going to move the bracket with the control board on it. So we have to remove these 2 screws here. Now that those screws are out, you can just lift up on the bracket and remove this side first. Then we'll twist it so that we can get this anchor clip out. Now that we've got that anchor clip out of the way, we can take out the whole bracket. Now I've got a block of wood here. I'm going to lift up the dryer. I'm going to slide that block of wood underneath. There we go. And I've got 4 screws underneath that I have to undo. Now the 2 screws in the middle, you can just loosen those up a bit. You don't have to fully take them out. Now we can slide the wood back out from underneath this and gently set it down. Now we have to remove these 3 screws here. Now we'll open up the dryer door and we'll take out the filter, and you can just set that inside. And we'll be using a Phillips head to remove these 2 screws here. Now that we've got all the screws out, we'll just be able to lift up on the bulkhead a little bit and it'll come right off. And you're just going to want to make sure that if the wire gets caught in there, you don't pull it too hard. Just make sure you get it lined up with the hole and just pull it out just like that. Now we're going to want to unplug these wires here that go to our dryness sensor. Now we've got 2 screws in here that we've got to undo. So you'll see right here we still have a screw poking out of this hole where there's a screw still screwed in, and right here is where we just unscrewed that other screw. So now we'll go unscrew the one that's still screwed in. The next thing we need to do is remove this screw right here. And once we get that screw out, we can pull straight up and remove this entire lint filter assembly piece. Keep in mind that if you didn't get the screws out when you were originally unscrewing them from the inside, that they'll still be in these holes. So take care not to turn this upside down and lose those screws. Now I'm going to be removing this metal plate right here. So to get it off, I've got 2 screws, one on either side. And once you remove that second screw, that housing should come right off. The next thing we need to do is we need to remove this entire front part still. So we've got a few screws up here and a bunch of screws in here for this front bulkhead. So we're going to start up top first. And once you get those screws out, you can pop this front panel right off. Just want to lift up, and it should come right out. Now that we've got those screws all out, you'll see there's a couple of tabs right here that stick out that the bulkhead rests on. So you should be able to lift it up. And once they're over those tabs, just kind of lift up on the drum as well, because you'll have the wheels on the other side that you have to get out. So now I have to reach in back here, and I have to get the drum belt off the pulley. We're going to have to push up on the lever to release the tension and reach in with our other hand, and now we can just take that right off. And now with the belt off, I should be able to lift up on the drum, and I'll carefully remove the whole piece. And just be careful when you're taking this out that you don't get the drum belt caught on anything. So this is our motor pulley right here. In order to get it off, I've got a 7/16" wrench, and we need to use that wrench and hold the shaft right in here. Then we're going to use a pair of channel locks. We're going to grab on to the motor pulley. That you're careful here and that you don't bash your fingers or anything. But you're going to use the channel locks, grip on, and twist it to loosen it. And then you can loosen it the rest of the way by hand. There we go. Now you can grab your new OEM replacement motor pulley. If you don't have one already, you can find it on our online store. Now to put it on, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to screw it on by hand as much as we can. And once it is as tight as we can get it, tighten it on. And once you've got it tight, you shouldn't be able to loosen it anymore by hand. And we're going to set it right on top of the back roller wheels. And just like that. Now to put the drum back on, we're going to take the belt, we're going to go on the other side of the wheel here, just like this, and we're going to lift it up, keeping this all together, and then loop the belt around the shaft here, and make sure everything's on straight. There we go. And then everything should be able to spin freely now, just like that. Spin a little bit more than a full rotation, and you see that the drive belt is about where it was before, and you'll also see your fan wheel spinning down there. So now we need to put the front bulkhead back on. In order to do that, lift up the drum a little bit so we can get these roller wheels underneath the drum and in their proper positions. And then once you've got that in there, you can lock the bulkhead into place with those little tabs, and then we can screw it all in. Now we'll put the top panel back on. So what I'm going to do is there's a tab right here, and it has to go into this little slot, and that's going to be on both sides. So just line it up and slide it down in. Same thing on this side. Just line it up, slide it down in there, and then we'll screw it all in. Now when we put this back on, we need to make sure that this slot right here goes into that tab. And then everything else should line up nicely for you. And now we're going to put this lint filter assembly inside. You're going to make sure that this cord goes out so that we can plug it into there. But you're going to want to line up this assembly on the bottom with that hole right there that goes into the fan blower wheel area. Now I'm going to plug these back in together. Now we'll screw this middle screw back in here. Okay, now the other one. There we go. Now we're going to line up the sides of this bulkhead with the dryer. And then on the front, you're just going to put these clips into the holes that they correspond with. Just like that. So now we'll screw in the top 3 screws. Now put the lint filter back in, and we'll close the door. Now we'll plug these 2 wires back in together. And we're going to line up all the holes on the bottom here. Once the holes are lined up on the front, you're just going to want to push forward so that tab's locked into place. And now we can screw it back down. Now we'll put the screws back in. Just make sure you tighten up those middle screws real good. Now I'll be putting the control panel back on. Put this anchor back into place here, push down, and that sticks. And we'll screw it down before we plug everything in. And then once we've got that back in, we can plug everything in. All the wires have just one spot where they can go, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Now that we've got it all plugged in, we can put the top back on. Now if you take a look at one of the sides on the panel, It's got these slots that go all the way down. Those slots correspond to each one of these tabs here. So when you put the top panel back on, you're going to want to try and make sure that those slots line up with the tabs. And as long as everything lines up, the top panel will slide in there nice and easy. And your back hole should line up nicely so we can screw it back in. And once you've got that screwed in nice and tight, you can turn it back around and your repair is complete. Now we can turn our gas back on. Finally, don't forget to plug in your appliance. If you need to replace any parts for your appliances, you can find an OEM replacement part on our website, PCApplianceRepair.com. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like, comment, and share our video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us make more videos just like these for you to watch for free.